Hey everyone, we'll get started in a little bit. Just waiting on Larhannah to get on here. Okay. Oh, thank you, Saba. Hey sis. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Stefan. Oh, sorry, Stephanie. Thank you. Thanks, Britt. Hey, hey, hey. All right, I've just invited Larhannah in here. She should be coming any moment. How's everyone doing? Okay. I think she's about to come on any moment. Hey, Kim. Hannah is unable to join. What is that? Let's re-invite her in here. 1 second. Hey,
Yay! We
we
did
did
it.
it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay, wait. You want to wait a little bit longer to give people the time to sign on?
Yeah, we can wait a little bit longer.
Okay. How are you though, girl? I love your
I'm
hair. God,
good. I love your hair, curly
back
hair.
up. My head's all like close and stuff. Dang, big old head.
I'm liking that diet face though. I can't wait till I
Right,
get one of
girl. Look, right here. I'm trying to give myself some cheekbones. Fill it in.
them. I am waiting on that. Hey guys.
Wait, like what do you think? Like 5 minutes? 5 more minutes?
Yeah, we take like 5 more minutes. Just wait for everyone to get up here. How's everyone doing? How's
How's the
your
weather over there?
the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's all right. It's humid, humid in Atlanta.
It's storming over here in
Oh,
Texas, Houston, Texas.
that is not fun. I am not a
So
fan of rain.
I like it whenever I'm like, sick because I'm staying home. But if I want to go outside, why are you trying to rain today? Like, out of all the days, work starts tomorrow. So why are you trying to rain on a day that's a weekend? Like, no, rain during the week. So we have to cancel and not go to work.
Your trip. Brittany says diet face. LOL. The struggle is real. What? That's not the struggle. I'll gladly take that diet face. Contour.
Girl.
I ain't even got to put no makeup on, just natural contour.
Right? Yes. But I'm not going to have to worry about that because you're doing my makeup.
They ain't gonna be ready for this look.
Like, for real. I'm excited. All right, let's see. Like 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes, y'all. Bear with us. Trying to get a couple more people on here. Oh, you're in Cancun. I'm jelly.
What? In Cancun. I'm not even.
It's muggy in Buffalo. Yeah, it's muggy here too. It's pretty gross, honestly.
Dude, when I go outside, I'm literally melting. I feel like the witch from the Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, I'm melting, like straight up. My face is dripping in sweat the second I walk out the door. And then there's like viral videos going around from Houston of people like cooking steaks outside, eggs. It's so hot here.
Dang. Z, are you gonna be at the Savannah Pro? I wasn't planning on going to Savannah Pro. I mean, maybe if I get enough requests for hair and makeup, maybe, but I was not. I think my last stop uh for shows was probably going to be Texas Pro.
When is the Savannah?
Shoot, is Savannah in like, is it September?
I
I'm
thought
not
it was.
sure. I feel like it's September.
Hmm. All right, you want to start?
Oh, right. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So, hello everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in to Beyond the Barbells. We are your hosts, Larhannah Robinson, IFBB Figure Pro, and
Nicole Zenobia Graham, IFBB Figure Pro.
so Nicole and I have been talking, and we've noticed that figure as a division just doesn't have a platform for their athletes. Nicole has been talking. We have been talking. We noticed that there are athletes, but there's just no place for you to go and find the athletes. Wings of Strength has their platform for bodybuilding. Wellness is the biggest category right now, so it's like figure is not like a dying breed, but it is at the same time.
I agree. I mean, I don't want to say dying breed per se, because it's not like we don't have the athletes. We definitely do. It's just unfortunate that we don't exactly have a platform for, the fans and, the athletes in general to just get to know exactly who we are. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was the perfect opportunity and finally to take the time to actually give us that. I love the sport of bodybuilding and I love to cover all divisions, but at the same time, we do need a place. So,
Exactly. Because it's like, so whenever I'm online, and I'm looking at all these flyers from the promotions, it's rare that you see the figure pros on there. They're very advertising of wellness, they're very advertising of bikini and men's bodybuilding, but figure is fading with advertising. So that's why I was excited that we are able to, build this platform for figure and give specifically the figure girls, a platform like we talked about.
exactly, exactly. So,
So before we start and we talk about figure athletes, let's tell them a little bit about us because, not everybody knows who I am, not everybody knows who you are. So let's start with you. How long have you been a figure pro? Like how many Olympians? Who's your coach? All of that.
okay, so I've been at the sport of bodybuilding for going on 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
This will be my fourth Olympia. It's pretty much been a quick journey, I guess you could say. I started in 2016, got my pro card about months after my first show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of been an uphill experience, really great experience so
Mm-hmm.
far. My coach is Johnny Castellana. Amazing, amazing, amazing coach. Probably one of the best decisions that I could have made was to actually start working with him. He's
Mm-hmm.
much so a work guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're down to do all the cardio, the hard dieting, the training. He's definitely somebody that you would definitely want to work with. And he's
Right.
very attentive,
Mm-hmm.
health conscious. So I'm definitely happy with the decision that I made to start working with him.
Right.
So what about you? What about you? So I understand you're in prep too.
Yes, I am in prep 2 and 3 weeks out.
Okay.
I started in 2015 with my coach, Coach Lala with Team Armor, and I've been with him ever since. It's been, it started quick. I started with bikini, and then I didn't transition into figure until the end of 2016. I did nationals in 2017, and I placed, and then 2018, I got pregnant with my second child. Then 2019 is when my pro career actually started. I got my pro card 7 months after my son, and then I did my first pro show in Tampa, which is where I met you, and surprisingly got third place. I had we didn't expect me to place. We just wanted to see how I stood next to you guys, because we knew
Right.
Tampa Pro was the biggest show of the year. You know how they advertised it. Biggest show of the year, the last show of the year that you could qualify. And I'm like, you know what? Forget about it. Let's just see what happens. And then I ended up, getting third. So then after that, that motivated me more to do another one. So I did the Legions at the end of the year. And yeah, it's just literally been uphill ever since then.
Gotcha, gotcha. Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
so you know how the beginning of the year is, and we've been watching the shows, and we've noticed that, not, well, it hasn't been like top 10 Olympians that have been competing.
Right.
Why do you think that has been? Like, why do you think that not that many athletes are competing in the earlier shows, and why are they waiting to do shows later on in the year?
I've been asking myself that a lot this season. I mean, besides the Arnold, and seeing, some of our more seasoned athletes in figure, um, I just don't know. I don't know if it's because the Olympia has been pushed all the way back to December, and maybe people are just waiting to do shows a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
Olympia, so it's not that up and down, type of,
Mm-hmm.
how generally want to do something a little bit closer or do something really far away so that you have
Right,
more than enough time to prepare for the Olympics.
right.
Was pretty much my plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although my plan didn't necessarily go the way that I was hoping it would go.
Mm-hmm.
The plan really was to just start off with the Arnolds
Mm-hmm.
and do a bunch of shows because I know a lot of people get a little upset about people doing a number of shows
Mm-hmm.
already qualified, but
Mm-hmm.
is and this is my strategy. I don't know if anybody else has really thought about it, but
Right.
well, number one, we're pro athletes. There's money involved, right? That's
Exactly.
so that's number one. Number two, we're pros. We're the best league, you know, for the sport. This is
Mm-hmm.
the only federation that you get to get invited or qualify for the Olympia. And
Right.
I'm sure most of us want to win the Olympia. So the strategy would be do a bunch of shows, take some spots,
Mm-hmm.
win, after winning those shows, because
Right.
that's less people that I have to go
Exactly.
against on stage. So those are the type of strategies that
Right.
I'm at.
Right.
So I'm not sure, how everybody else thinks about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I would think that we would see, more seasoned athletes competing a little bit more.
Right. But and then how many athletes are already qualified for the Olympia? I forgot. We talked about it, but how
The,
many are already qualified?
the last
How
time
many?
I want to say it was 27.
Exactly. So
I
27 already.
829 now, actually.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the cool thing about it is we're getting more international women.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Yeah.
competing this year's, Olympia for figure. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love, you know, our figure sisters that are here in the States, but
Right.
at the end of the day, it's the Olympia, it's the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and
Right.
we should be going against the best in the world, not
Right.
just our
Versus
country.
everyone.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Everyone. I mean, I feel the exact same way. I feel because the Arnold and the Olympia are so close together, it's hard to strategize being able to just go full force for two big shows back to back. It's like you don't have time to really go into an off season, especially if you're an athlete like me. Like for example, 2020, what is this? 22. I'm on prep. Y'all don't judge me. I don't even know what year we're in or day. Like y'all better be lucky I made it on time to this live. Jesus, thank you. But anyway, no. So it's just I think we're not able to really strategize and go into an improvement season being back-to-back shows, especially with huge shows like that, which already put so much pressure on us. Like you said, the Super Bowl, and then we have the Arnold, which is, just as good. It's just as good. So whenever you're doing two back-to-back shows, how are you? When's the rest? We need rest for our mental health. You can't keep going back to back to back. Our body will give out. We'll lose our life, and it's just, it's not worth it. So I feel like we should almost offer less shows, offer less figure shows throughout the year, so it forces more athletes to, compete. That way, every single show is, not like it's not an amazing show right now, but I'm just saying top 10 Olympians will have to compete because they aren't that many shows that you can qualify in. And they can still keep it, top three. Olympia only qualifies for next year. That would make the top 10 compete even more. And it might make them, compete even earlier in the year.
Exactly, exactly. You know, I honestly thought that that would have been what was going to happen this year, being that they
Hmm.
changed top five being qualified for the Olympics,
Yes.
top three. So I'm like, okay, bet we're gonna have
Right.
in the season, and we just have not seen it. So
Yeah. So.
prediction at this
Hmm.
point that now the shows are going to start being stacked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree on that. Every single show from here on out is going to be a battle and a great show to watch because there's not that many shows left to qualify with.
Right, exactly.
So we'll see what happens. But y'all know I'm coming to Tampa, so you better be ready because this Texas size back is not playing this time.
Ooh,
No. All right. So let's talk bodybuilding.
what we're here for.
Exactly. All about the figure girls. Let's do it.
Yes. So for everyone who is tuning in right now, so as we stated, you know, we're basically bringing Beyond the Barbell to you guys so that figure has a platform. Now, that's not to say that we are not going to update you, you know, on other divisions. We will update you on those, but we are getting into detail when it comes
Mhm.
to our division.
Exactly.
Oh, so
What do you want to start with?
let's go ahead and get right into the Chicago Pro. So,
Yeah.
uh, man,
Wow.
pretty good show. Masters was also a part of that as
Mm,
well. Guys, we definitely want to start covering Masters. I don't know if everyone knows, but the Masters Olympia will be coming back. We
mm.
are at 2023. No exact date or location yet. As that information comes in, we will definitely keep you guys updated. But it is very important that we do talk about masters as well. They are just as important. They are pro athletes as well.
Mm.
Um,
Honestly, I it's the Masters women that I fear, to be honest. That muscle maturity, that 3D pop, Masters are the ones that come in and they do not play. So we will 100% cover Masters.
absolutely, absolutely. So let's get right into it. We will update you guys on, you know, who took what placings, and then of course, once we get into our division, we'll get into a little bit more detail. Uh,
Mm.
I'm going to actually flip my camera so that you guys can see this because for some strange odd reason, it's not giving me the option to just share photos with you guys just through here. So 1 second.
So we're gonna be a little bootleg for the first one. Don't judge us.
Okay,
It works. It looks good. Yeah, that's
we
good.
still got it. Okay, cool. So, first of all, we're getting right into masters for the Chicago Pro.
Hmm.
Um, we have a master's bodybuilding. So, masters 40 and up was Manuel Romero. Masters 50 and 55 was Tony Legrene. Hopefully, I said that correctly. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. But those are your winners for Masters Men's Bodybuilding.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes, yes. Moving on. All right. So we had one Masters for Classic Physique, Masters 40 and over, Wilfredo Victoria.
Wow, he looks really good, really conditioned.
Very conditioned. I think if
And
you
40? Wow.
and I think he'll definitely be a contender for sure in Masters Olympia.
Yeah, look at those glutes.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Masters men's physique. So, Masters 40 and over was Michael Ferguson. Masters 50 and 55 was Sam Dalig.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Really good.
All right. So, let's get into some women here. Masters bikini. Masters 40 and over. Nicole Gujia. Hopefully, I didn't butcher you too much there. Masters 50 and over was Carla Jacome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And guys, I think Masters doesn't get enough credit. At the end of the day, again, they are still pro athletes. Whether they're, in the Open or in the Masters division, which is why I do want to bring up a show that we did have earlier in the year, Titans, the Titans Clash. I really want to give a huge shout out to Daniel Stuckhart and DeMonte Dudley, the promoters of that show. They really went in for Masters figure, which
Yes.
had by far the biggest payout that Masters has seen. First place was $7,000. Second place, 2,000. Third place was 1,000. So,
Wow.
you know, big ups to them for doing that, and I believe that's something that they will be continuing to do for the following years.
Yes, thank you so much for supporting our division and especially the Masters division. Because,
And
like you said, they don't get enough recognition, and
right,
that's a lot of prize money. $7,000 in open figure class does not even get that at any show. We
exactly,
get 3,500,
right,
maybe 5,000, but 7,000. Wow, that's a lot.
exactly. I'm like, dang, I'm not old enough.
Yeah, I'm like, can they make an exception for me?
Okay, so moving into Masters women's physique, we have one Masters 40 and over, Oksana Piari. Hopefully, I said that correctly.
Wow.
Congratulations. Okay, figure, Masters figure. So for 40 and over, we had Zulfaya Bityeva, Masters 50 and over, Edith Driver, Masters 55 and over, Kayoko Yamamoto. Now, Zulfaya, I've seen her also at the Atlanta Pro. This one
Mm-hmm.
is very, very conditioned, actually.
Mm-hmm.
She stood toe to toe with the Open division actually at the Atlanta
Right.
Pro. I believe she took third at the
Yeah.
Atlanta Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing condition. I think if she comes in with a little bit more size on her, because you can't really tell from the photo here, but she's a little bit more on the petite side. So I think if she
Okay.
puts a more size on with that type of conditioning, she is
Mm-hmm.
someone to contend with. I could definitely see her, if she does put that size on,
Yeah.
being a contender to also do the Olympia, but not only just, Open Olympia, but Masters Olympia, as well.
Right. She has an amazing shape, beautiful shape. Look at her glutes.
Yeah,
Everything spot on. Wow.
absolutely. So for Masters 15 over, we had Edith Driver. I thought she had some great conditioning as well. I would have liked to have seen probably the glutes come in a little bit tighter and the
Mhm.
hamstrings a bit more. And I believe, honestly, she actually has more lats than she
Yes.
to
Yes.
have there. Would have opened her back up a little bit more. She would
Right.
have a little bit more of that X frame structure.
Mm-hmm. We're both posing coaches, so we see the exact same thing. If she would have opened it instead of squeezed, she would have looked bigger. But I think she squeezed it so that she can show more 3D. So for what her body was that day for that show, I think she did the right thing for the 3D. But for the future, when she puts on a little bit more muscle, then to open it to give more of a wow and like you said, show off the X frame.
Exactly. I completely agree. For Kyoko, I thought she had some great conditioning as well. Beautiful midsection, nice
Mm-hmm.
frame there. A little bit more on the petite side. I think if she, puts a little bit of size on in the right areas, she could do very well. I would like to see a little bit more detail in those hamstrings, but
Mm-hmm.
again, 55 and over,
Yeah. Wow.
I'm
I hope I can
that's
do this at
goals.
55. Man,
That is
she's
absolute
a,
goals right there. So
yeah.
again, congratulations.
Think too, like I think she would have showed off more of her X frame if she would have pulled the bikini up higher like the other two ladies, just to show off her hip flexors and the top part of her glutes. It would have gave her front shape a little bit, better of an illusion. But she still has a super tiny waist, so how she had it there worked for her. But just in the future, bring it up in line with the belly button so it gives that V shape, and then it'll show the smallest part of your waist compared to the biggest part of your glutes, which gives you that nice
Right.
X shape.
Agree. Completely agree. But again, congratulations, ladies. This was just amazing to see, honestly. I mean, conditioning at that age is just like a big.
Wow.
Okay, so moving right along. All right, getting into the open men's physique. So in first place, we have Nick Koyu, second, Jeremy Potvin, third, Charjo Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They looked pretty good, pretty crispy and conditioned.
Yeah, man, that first place guy looks really good. I like his shape a lot.
Yeah.
And then I like the back from the second place guy.
Yeah, I like that he has a little bit more I guess you could say width on those lower lats.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that to the first place Nick, I believe he just was a little bit more crispy, a little bit more conditioned. But I think if Jeremy would have brought a little bit more conditioning in his back with how thick the bottom of his lats are,
Right.
that might have actually bumped him up to first.
Yeah, because it's like if you look at both of them, it's like what's the second place guy's name? I don't want to say second place guy.
Jeremy.
But Jeremy, if you look at Jeremy looks like he's, it's hit spot on for his back, but his front is like flat a little bit, and then you look at Nick, and he looks like he could almost be a little bit flat in the back, but he popped in the front. So it looks like Nick looked more, overall better because but yeah, Jeremy looks like he could have came in a little bit better. So I bet at the evening show, Jeremy probably came in at his best.
Probably, more than likely. All right, let's move on here. All right, classic physique. Okay, so in first place, we have Jonathan T. Pelkey. Second place, we have Tommy Clark. And in third, we have John Lee. And if you guys have noticed, I've placed them in basically how you would look at it from stage, first, second. Okay. Now, Jonathan, we saw him at the Atlanta Pro, and this is another first place. So congratulations to Jonathan on that. It's the second Olympia qualification for him. And again,
Wow.
just amazed by how dense this man
Yeah.
is and how conditioned he is.
Like, look at his back. Like, that is, it literally, it looks like a face. Like, wow.
The back, the hand.
So detailed. Everything's connected. Everything's showing. Is sharp. He's sharp. He's full. It conditioned. He has the whole package.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. 212. Okay. So in first, we have Detrick Bo Lewis. In second, Peter Castella. And third, Fabrizio Morea. Hopefully I said that correctly.
Dog.
I thought these guys looked great, but Detrick just has that X frame. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's no comparison here.
Yeah.
Look at the waist, the waist
It's
ratio.
obvious. It's obvious.
Very, very, very obvious. Great job, Detrick. All right, men's bodybuilding. All right, so I did get a chance to, watch this on the live stream, and first place Antoine Valiant,
Mm-hmm.
second Tonio Burton, third Andrea Musi. Um, Antoine was extremely conditioned, as you can see. The pictures honestly don't do him justice. Watching the live stream, he was very crispy. Tonio, I was impressed with his shape. I
Mm-hmm.
wish that he would have came in a little bit more conditioned. A little bit more conditioned on those glutes. Because you can clearly see the striations are there.
Right.
But I think there's some water back there as well.
Yeah, he just needed one more week. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But again, he just has a beautiful, beautiful shape.
He has a bright future, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I think actually too, if he puts a little bit more size on those legs, I think he's definitely going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, ladies, bikini. All right. In the first place, we have Jessica Wilson. Second place, Jasmine Gonzalez. Third, Jordan Brannon. And I saw between watching bikini and then also looking at the photos, I think
Mhm.
get it right with the top three. First place, Jessica's glutes very much so conditioned. They
Yeah.
really pop. Although, not gonna lie, I would have probably liked to have seen a little bit more tie-in, but her glutes are absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the inner part, but the outer quads are really good too.
Yes, absolutely. Bikini's always a hard division to really get.
It is. It's I think it's actually the hardest to judge because you can't really judge it until everybody shows up for the show that day. Then you know what you're, looking for. It's not like you can
Mhm.
just tell somebody how they're gonna win when they get there. It all depends on what athletes show up, literally. But for figure, it's like you know what we're looking for. The X shape.
Right.
You come in with an X shape, you're gonna do well. Bikini, it's like, should I bring in this? Should my waist be smaller? My butt, like
Mhm.
it's hard.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes, I kind of feel like sometimes I don't know exactly what we're, really looking for with bikini because I mean, I'm, in my preference, I like muscle. I like
Mhm.
condition. I like hardness. So,
Right.
they might want to go with a softer look. And personally,
Hmm.
I prefer, a bikini girl to look a little bit on the harder side.
Right.
Granted, that's not necessarily really the criteria, but as you
Exactly.
know, every division has evolved as far as the criteria is gone.
Right. Agreed.
Moving on. All right. Let's get into some wellness. So, in first place, we have Ismara Santos, Jasmine Payne for second, third, Nerilde Garcia Stray.
Mm.
I watched this as well, and I knew who automatically had this as soon as they walked out. Ismara
Yeah.
had the shape, she had the overall look,
Hmm.
very, very polished. Her glutes, as you can see, you know,
And
they're massive.
they are, and they're
they
long.
they really are. Um, her shape alone was just ridiculous. Not too overpowering with the upper body. It was just
Right. And he
beautiful
poses really well too.
art. Yes, absolutely. I've seen Jasmine quite a few times this season. Um,
Hmm.
personally, I feel with Jasmine, she's got some beautiful quads, beautiful hamstrings. But I will say, as watching the comparisons and watching her next to Ismara, I kind of thought that she actually needs bigger glutes.
Yeah.
Her
Hmm.
quads and hamstrings are insane. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely the glutes.
Yeah. Because they go for the overall look. Who's the most balanced overall, and
Right.
she's definitely. I think this is fair how they placed it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In the real day, she looked amazing as well. She had a beautiful shape.
Mm.
I will say, I think with Narilla Day, I would have liked to have seen her feet come in just a little more. I felt
Yeah.
like they were a little on the wide side, but aside
Right.
from that, I thought she brought a beautiful package.
Yeah. I think if she lifts her hips up, like her glutes up, instead of pushing them back, because it looks like she's squatting almost, and then versus the other two, they're like lifting it up. So it shows the line in the middle a little bit
Right.
deeper. Just, but that correction will make that pose look a lot better.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Okay, fitness. All right. So in first place, we have Sam Kovac. In second, Michelle Fredwa Mansa. Hopefully, I said that correctly. In third, Michelle Gales. You know, honestly, with fitness, I mean, besides looking at the routines,
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like fitness is a little hard to judge when it comes to the physiques because sometimes I'm wondering, are we looking at it more as figure? Because
Hmm.
it's such a wide spectrum
Right.
on fitness because some of the girls are, on the bigger side. Some of the girls
Hmm.
been on the smaller side as far as like kind of looking a little bit more like bikini.
Right.
Here, we're looking a little bit more like figure. I can definitely
Right.
why physically why Sam, had this one. She had more conditioning for sure. Look at the calf
Mm-hmm.
tie-ins. Michelle, she has some density back there. Her back
Lot.
looks
Yeah.
amazing. I would have liked to have seen her come in a little bit tighter on that lower posterior chain there. Um,
Right.
I think Michelle has a nice shape. I think the back needs to come up a little bit more width. Although
Mm-hmm.
I think also possibly a posing thing as well.
Right.
Um, actually has a little bit more lat to show back there. It's just how she's positioned. And I would have liked to have seen her a little bit more conditioned as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, because like you said, it's very hard to know how you should bring your physique in for fitness because look at the top Olympians and from the Arnold. Every single competitor has a different shape. Missy is more figure.
Yeah,
Wendy is more, I would say I would put her in women's physique just because her waist is on the blockier side versus, figure is more shapely. And then you have why am I Ariel, who
oh
she's oh
man,
my God,
that
ridiculously
condition,
shredded, like all muscle, and she's women's physique. So if you put those three next to each other and they all three come in at their absolute best, who would win based upon just the physique? Not even including the fitness routine, just the physique, who would win out of those three? And then I think more fitness competitors could understand which structure or what, conditioning or level of muscle that they need to bring in for the fitness division.
absolutely. I mean, when it comes to the fitness division, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody else has been noticing it, but I feel like they're not necessarily really paying attention to the physique as much as they're paying attention to the routines, which don't get me wrong, that is very much so important. But I've
Right.
had a few, experiences going to shows where the suit round was not,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just the routine. And at the end of the day, our sport is bodybuilding.
Right.
And what it does is, I have a background of being a gymnast and, a cheerleader. So, obviously having that background of, tumbling and
Mm-hmm.
ability jumps, things of that nature, somebody can just kind of just walk up off the street and say, oh, I'm going to do a routine and I'm going to hop into
Right.
the show. But if
Yeah.
there's no physique round or suit round, what happens
Right.
if somebody does, do a national and there is no suit round, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a routine and this person is not in shape. What happens when they get
Exactly.
that pro card, right? And, you know,
And they
decide
go up against
pro,
somebody that
they're
is, yeah.
people with bodies,
Yes.
So I think the fitness division, I think they really, really should really focus also on the physique,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
focus on the routine, focus
Mm-hmm.
because these women have to go against other women who actually train.
Exactly. Because even just looking at the top three that you just showed me right there, it's obvious. You could see the first place and the second place put time, into getting conditioned. The
Right.
third, it did not look like she tried to get conditioned for the show. And who knows how conditioned she could have been or how much fat on her body she needs to be able to do the routine that she had to do. So that's why they have to tell them, like, look, we're looking for y'all to be this kind of conditioning, so bring in this kind of conditioning so you can still do your routines at 100% without breaking a bone or tearing a muscle, but they have to give them something for it to be at the same level. And you're seeing every athlete in the fitness category when they put their physique their suits on, everybody should look like they're almost at the same level of conditioning. Because when you go to the pro shows and you're looking at every other division, they all have on their suits and everybody's trying to match, whatever the category calls for that level of conditioning. So we're trying to get shredded to the bone so that we can show every single muscle, every single line. They're like, should I be showing every single line? Should I not? Should I, like, is it okay for me to have this and that? Like, what
Right.
do they want when it comes to the physique round?
Exactly. Completely agree. Okay. Women's bodybuilding. So,
Wow.
in first place, we have Angela Yale. Second, Sherry Karami, and third, Chelsea Dion. And one thing I will say here,
Hmm.
very impressed with the conditioning here. You know, women's bodybuilding, I think for a while the conditioning hasn't been, you know, that shredded, you know, look.
Right.
Now we're really starting to see that from these women, and I am extremely impressed, especially with our second place
Yeah.
here, Sherry.
Yes.
So Sherry actually came from women's physique and was told
Yeah.
to move up to women's bodybuilding this season.
Mhm.
I will say that was a amazing, perfect decision for her. To
Oh, and I didn't even know that background. And I was literally comparing the first and the second to each other. And I was saying in my head that it looked like second place came from women's physique. And she put, you know, she's
Mhm.
building for women's bodybuilding because because here it's literally a coin toss between first and second. They're
Oh yeah,
both conditioned. They both have amazing back. Like the second place even has like a lot more detail than
yeah,
the first place. But obviously, the first place has way more size on her. And when it comes to bodybuilding, it's almost always a size game.
egg.
So clearly the placing was correct. But if it were me, I would have chose the second place just because I feel like she's way like, you know, it's super detailed. You can see everything. You can see
Exactly, exactly. No, I completely agree. Absolutely. All right, moving on. Women's physique. Okay, in first place we have Ashley Jones. In second place, we have Natalie Ray Wolf. In third, Amanda Mercado. Um, you know, I was actually really looking forward to watching this. A
everything.
fan of Ashley Jones for quite some time. You know, she was a figure for some time.
Yep.
You
Hmm.
know, I definitely saw it because she has amazing amazing legs, muscle that this woman carries. So I
Yeah.
knew once she moved into women's physique, it was definitely going to be a great division for her. Um,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought she was gonna be a little bit more conditioned just from what we saw last season. Uh,
Hmm.
but I mean, look at the structure. You know, you really cannot deny the shape she has
Right.
frame.
Right.
So I'm hoping that for the Olympia, that's what she's gonna bring. She's gonna bring
Yeah.
that.
I think she's doing the Texas Pro too. So I think I don't even think she had this show planned. I think she
I
just jumped
so
into this show.
yeah,
So I
I
don't
that
think she was like ready for it. So I think we'll see her at her best at the Texas Pro if she's still doing it. But I still think like the with who showed up at the show that day, she
yeah,
still blew them out of the water. You know, like even
absolutely. I
with
mean,
her not even being
structure and
at her
shape,
best.
right? Structure and shape alone for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Natalie, who took second. Um,
Hmm.
no, the structure isn't necessarily there for that wow, crazy, you know, X frame, but
Right,
you can't deny either that that conditioning is just
right.
insane. You know
Hmm.
how grainy she looks.
Exactly. And then you don't even you can't really compare you can't really, you know where you are in the sport until you compare yourself next to who you're going to need to beat. So now what's her name? I'm sorry. The second place Natalie can
Natalie,
see that
mhm,
she just needs to put on a little bit more size and then she'll be right there with them.
absolutely, I agree. All right, moving on. All right, we know what
Yes.
it is. Let me move this back a
Hey,
little.
best for last, of course.
Yes, the
Main
best.
attraction.
All
They
right.
li- they know that everybody knows where they're there for us.
All right, y'all. So let's get right into it. Figure Chicago Pro. First place, we have Julia Champlin. Second, Anita Davis. Third, Zulfaya Bityeva. Fourth, Danielle Rose. Fifth, Samantha Jering. Sixth, Shayna Malcolm. And wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay, so our first place champion here, Julia Champlin. Very impressed with her conditioning.
Lord mercy.
Amazing. Um, look at the mass on the leg. She definitely has
Yeah.
that frame. She has an overall polished look. I think
Hmm.
her, if I had to be nitpicky on really anything, I think I would like to see a little bit more size just on the last, just to kind of, you know, match that bottom half because the I mean quads are insane on her.
Right.
I think other than probably really about it with Julia. I thought she looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah, like it, everything, like the abs down from the front is like popped and
I,
soft. Like look at that. And then if you just compare her to the first to Anita, you can
yes.
see Anita's shoulder caps dominate her. So I just think that if she did a little bit, even if she just maybe it could be a posing correction to show how bigger her delts are.
Mhm.
I think just the delts and then, like you said, the lower lats, but everything else is like 100% spot on. Like her
Oh,
leg
absolutely.
conditioning, the 3D pop, like everything, the look. I love the suit color. I like her hair choice.
Hmm.
Um, Everything about the look is really good.
Exactly. And, to piggyback off of actually what you just said, in regards to the shoulders. So, like you just said, it could have been a opposing thing to actually make them
Hmm.
a little bit more, which in all actuality, I believe you're correct. If she
Hmm.
brung those hands a little bit closer into her,
Right.
it actually would have changed the shape of her
Hmm.
caps and would have actually rounded them out a little bit more.
Right.
Okay, so moving on to Anita.
Hmm.
First of all, let's be real here. She literally is like the second coming of Latoria Watts.
Literally. Literally.
Yes.
Wow.
That's exactly what we have going on here. And honestly, Anita pretty much did the same thing as far as the hands go.
Hmm.
Would have brung them in a little bit more closer toward her body. Those shoulders would have popped even more than they already are. Um,
Right.
you know, Anita is just lacking in a little bit, more size on that lower half, a little bit more density. Um,
Hmm.
it's a little bit more on the conditioning.
Yeah. I mean, overall, she has the shape.
Yeah,
You
she,
know, first and second could have been literally a toss up because it's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? Like it literally apples and oranges. They both look absolutely amazing. And if I had to judge them and pick one, I would have had to have done a coin toss because they're they're both equally amazing when you're looking at the shape, the structure, the muscle, and the conditioning.
absolutely.
Um, Maybe just a little bit more conditioning on the lower half and the back for Anita. Other than that, it's wow. Like she's gonna be, a huge, huge threat.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. There's no denying that at all. Third place, we have Zulfaya Bityeva. So again, as we just saw, she won Masters. She's a little bit more on the petite side. You can't really see it here. But obviously, if we were actually really looking at the lineup, you'd really be able to see it. But her
Hmm.
is absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see, if she actually takes the time and put on a little bit more size. Um,
Right.
her conditioning is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. It's like everybody says shows are won from the back. So when you're looking at everybody from the front, it's like we all look almost equal because of like just the structure from the front looks really good. Then when you go to the back, you can tell, where you're lacking the muscle, the conditioning, and all of that. So her front is like spot on, amazing. Then when you turn to the back, it's just like she needs a little bit more muscle in the back with her overall back size, the rear delts, the lower lats, and I think she'll be right there.
Absolutely. Moving on to fourth place, Danielle Rose. I thought Danielle had some beautiful conditioning. Um, I just think looking at this lineup, of course, it's, who showed up. I think it's just more of a structural thing here. Um,
Right.
again, you're looking at Julia and you're looking at Anita, and they have that wow, X frame.
Hmm.
So again, I just think it's more of a structure, thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because she's very well balanced for her physique. Like she
yes,
matches top to bottom. She's super conditioned. Her
yes,
posing's good. Everything's good. It's not like she's like really missing anything. It's just like you said. It all just depends upon who shows up that day in
exactly.
that moment for the placing. But she's right there. She's still beating a lot of people. She's one that has been fighting for her placing this whole season. So I feel for her because each time she's still getting better and better and better. But
Agreed.
I would say keep fighting and keep going because each time you step on stage, you're getting better and better, and you're still knocking people out. So you still have a chance to get to the Olympia. Just keep going.
Oh no, absolutely. I completely agree. I remember looking at Danielle from the first show she did this season, and it's
Hmm.
definitely, you know, a progression as far as the conditioning has gone. And again, if you're doing multiple shows, in a season, like you really should be getting tighter and better every time you get on stage.
Hmm. Right.
Definitely that for sure. Moving into fifth place, we have Samantha Jaring. So
Mm.
is, as we know, is already qualified for the Olympics.
Right.
He ended up just jumping into this show. I've actually seen Samantha a little bit more crispier. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, the shoulders are absolutely amazing. Abs look great. I just would have loved to have seen those quads come in a little bit tighter, and
Right.
a little bit more conditioning and just, just being tighter in general on that
Yeah.
posterior.
Because I think she got dinged because she won the Puerto Rico Pro and she didn't come in how she did at the Puerto Rico Pro. So once the judges see how amazing you already are, if you come in anything less than that, they're going to ding you for it. So I think she's preparing to do the Columbia. So this show this right here will help her look her best at Columbia.
Agreed.
But she just didn't come in. If she would have came in how she did at Puerto Rico, she would have had a different outcome. But she's just holding water on her back end.
Exactly, exactly. And then in six, we have Shayna Malcolm. I think Shayna has a lot of potential here. She's got the shoulders. She's got some good detail in the quads. Of course,
Hmm.
a conditioning girl, so I would have liked to have seen her come in a little bit more conditioning, but she does have a great frame. I think
Right.
if she puts some size on in the right areas along with some more conditioning, I think she'll definitely be someone to reckon with.
Hmm. I think so too. Yeah, overall, just conditioning, maybe a little bit more size on the legs.
Yeah, for
Other
sure.
than that, she she looks really, really good.
Mhm.
Really good potential. Very, very
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. So I was definitely happy with this lineup. I thought everyone looked great. Can't
Me too.
complain at all. Everyone in that first call out looked amazing. Even in the second call out,
Yeah,
um, women in the second call out that I thought looked phenomenal as well. So the Chicago Pro for Figure was definitely a good show.
it really was. I like that. This is it. So I feel like if we have the less, like, not that many shows, every show will be equivalent to this show. It's always going to be a battle and it's always going to be a toss up, and you're not going to know 100% who's going to win before you're walking off. But if there's so many shows, it's like you're watching a show and you already know what's going to happen before the night show happens. So then why bother to even go to the show and support the show when you already know what's going to happen? If
Exactly.
nobody's showing up and there's only one person that you know is going to win,
Right.
then I'm not gonna pay for that pay-per-view. Sorry. Like, I want to see a good show every time. So
Exactly.
give me a good show.
Exactly. So, of course, moving right along. So, as we did say, we were going to get into the Chicago Pro. So that pretty much is the end of Chicago Pro. But
Hmm.
moving right along, we are going to cover the NPC Teen Collegiate and Masters Nationals. Obviously, we'll update you guys on who took what. But of course, you already know we are getting into detail for a figure.
Exactly. Figures where it's at.
You already know. All right. So, getting into Masters bodybuilding. All right. So, for Masters 35 and over, super heavy, Stefan Spalding. For Masters 40 and over, heavyweight, Daniel Corman. Masters 50 and over, light heavy, Daniel Siebert. For Masters 60 and over, light heavy, Ivan Masalian. So, congratulations and welcome.
Guys, I'm just impressed that they have abs, like, at this age. Like, it took me, I didn't even have abs until I started with my coach, and they got abs at 50. Like, come on.
AB Factory, I see you.
Jesus.
No, honestly, I mean, I'm, people really, I feel like, don't give Masters the credit that they really deserve, man.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't. They don't. Not at
people
all.
that you really should be watching out for. Again, that's, it's muscle maturity. And I really am honestly really impressed when you can be in shape at that age. I mean, those are goals. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
all right. So moving on into Masters men's physique. So for the Masters 35 and over, we have Wagner Aburu.
Mhm.
Masters 40 and 45, Dennis Kloster. Masters 50 and over, Troy Garnes. Masters 55 and over, Brian Alexis. And Masters 60 and over, Stuart Jones.
Man.
Welcome to the IFBB Pro League.
Yeah, I saw Dennis on stage, the 40 and 45.
Mm-hmm.
Every single category he was in, he dominated. Like instantly, he stood right out. Instantly, I was wowed by him. I remember him. He's wow. He's going to be a big threat. Like this pose right here
That was
doesn't do him justice. It doesn't do him justice.
honestly, like like I said, I got to watch a few clips and whatnot. He was definitely somebody who stood out.
Yeah,
I think when the Masters Olympia comes, I think that's going to be somebody who's going to be a threat for sure.
absolutely.
Okay. Masters Classic Physique. So for Masters 35 and over, we have Brian Adams. Masters 40 and over, Travis Hester. 45 and over, Michael McKenzie Sr. 50 and over, Stephen Webley. And 55 and over, Kenneth Casa. Welcome to the IFBB Pro League.
Welcome to the league, guys.
All right, ladies, Masters Bikini. All right, so Masters 35 and over, Alicia Smith.
Mhm.
Masters 40-45, Emily Dean. 50 and over, Shannon Sigmund. 55 and over, Paulette Andrews. Welcome
Wow,
to the IFBB Pro League, ladies.
man, they look so good.
They do. They definitely do. Okay. Women's bodybuilding masters. So for 35 and over, we have heavyweights, Markia Jones. By the way, these are all heavyweight. Masters 40 and over, Lena Betka. 45 and over, Aaron Hawkins. 50 and over, Lori Conley. Again, the muscle maturity here is just insane.
Ridiculous. Yes.
I mean, I hope I have an ab at the age of 50.
Like seriously, for real. Like let me just have one striation on my leg and I'll be happy.
Oh man. All right, so moving on. Okay. Moving on to Masters Women's Physique. So we have well, she actually won 40 and 45, Melanie Bergner. 50,
Wow.
Heidi Orlando. 55 and over, Jeanette Martin. Congratulations and welcome
Man, Mel
to
so
IFBB Pro League.
good.
Yeah, I'm honestly really, really impressed. I mean, these Masters are not playing.
Wow.
Okay, Masters Wellness. So for 35 and 40, we have Shauna Lewis. Masters 45 and over is Ruth Rodriguez. And I know Ruth actually, and she's been working. I am really,
The
really,
legs, man.
yeah. And those calves, I'm a stick.
Yeah. I would have never said 45.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
Definitely not. All right, moving on. Okay, here we go. All right. So, Masters figure. So, for Masters 35 and over, we have Shannon Williams here. Masters 40 and over, Jessica Huffstetler. Masters
Hmm.
45 and over, Kristen Johnson. Masters 50 and over, Serena Rowe. 55 and over, Jeanette Martin.
Hmm.
And 60 and over, Cynthia Marks.
Wow.
And
Wow.
super, super impressive. The conditioning alone is
Yeah.
so impressed, honestly.
All of them too.
Yeah,
Every single one of them.
every last one of them are conditioned.